Okay, good morning. This is some niche content for people who would care about this. I wanted to give an update on the feeders. This is the current configuration, much different from what you've seen in the past. Let me explain what's going on. So first off, we've got the Finch magnet. That one I had kind of given up on, but with this new configuration, and I started seeing some goldfinches. I thought, all right, well, let's try it again. Let's fill it up and put it out there. And they are now coming to it. But I think what I've found with the goldfinches is they're just like house finches, except smaller. I don't particularly care for them. They're the kind of visitors who just stay and they mow like cows. And I kind of prefer the visitors that we'll talk about here in a sec who come, grab something to go, and you know, I guess I prefer that. So trouble is I've got a huge bag of that Niger seed, and I've got this feeder, so I guess I'm just gonna feed him until I get tired of it. Moving on to some other things, I added this little water bottle because I've been reading that you want to have some kind of bird bath, and I haven't quite gotten to that point yet where I've picked a bird bath. But I did put this little guy up there because it was cheap and I thought I would see what happened. And I'll say the goldfinches do drink out of it. So, clearly it is something that birds value, and maybe I need to look into doing something else. We've got the old standby here. We've had this suet feeder up for quite a while. It's still on its first two suet cakes, but as you can see, it gets a lot of business. Woodpeckers are at this thing throughout the day. I bought a second one though. I thought this was cute, and it also is one that is for hanging birds like woodpeckers, but also I've seen a chickadee go at this one already. But the trouble is when you add a new feeder, like any birds that want suet, they've got this one, so they don't really know this yet. But of course, we're not really in prime bird feeding, weather yet. So once it gets colder, suet becomes more vital to the birds, and I think they'll start using this one too. And I think this one will just be more fun to watch the birds, hanging underneath. This one, I can only see them half the time because oftentimes if they're on this side, I can't even see them. So that's suet. And lastly, I got these two little planet feeders that the idea behind this was these are feeders that birds can only go to one at a time, and only birds that have the ability to land here and stick their head in, and that would be my nuthatches, chickadees, titmice. I believe that's like it. And those are the birds I love. So the kind of cool thing was yesterday I saw a tufty. I call them tufties at this point because titmice is just, I'm not mature enough to say titmice. So I saw a tufty come and grab out of this one. I've got like sunflower hearts in this one, and I've got black oil sunflower seeds in their shells in this one. This is kind of a test to see what they go for. But I saw a tufty grab out of this one a number of times in a row, just like, it took him nothing to figure it out. So I feel confident that the other birds are going to figure it out. I have one more feeder coming. Basically, what I've figured out in the last week, two things. The house finches, and turns out house sparrows too, which are another invasive species, which you don't really want. I'm getting both of them, it turns out, or I was. And so I bought a couple other feeders that I thought would work, but man, they'll even go to that suet, this big one. I saw a house sparrow go to this. They don't like it. They don't like having to feed that way, so they'll do it if they have to. So I'm guessing we'll see if this suet feeder ends up making it through the winter, or if I have to replace it with another one of these that only hanging birds, clinging birds can use. But I have one more feeder. I bought a peanut tube feeder. Here's what I learned. The house finches and sparrows don't like peanuts. In fact, who likes peanuts? The birds I like. The nuthatches, the chickadees, and the tufties. And the other birds don't care for them. So it's perfect. It's sort of like what I originally was doing with the safflower seed and squirrels. You know, squirrels don't like safflower seed, so use that. Same idea with the peanuts. The birds that I don't like peanuts, so I'm all about peanuts. And of course, the birds that I do like are all about peanuts. The only sad thing I'll say about this whole arrangement is I haven't been able to take care of the cardinals. And I do, like everybody else, I adore cardinals. Cardinals are just awesome. I'm hoping that they're going to find enough on the ground, and you know, of course they're gonna you know, they're gonna find something. But I'm contemplating maybe having a feeder that is out in another part of the yard that my less desirable birds can use, because I'm thinking that way I can get rid of some of the seed that I've got piled up and use some of the feeders that I've got piled up while, oh, it looks like my next door dog is about to start barking. I think he's like, I think there's somebody next door that I could bark at. So here he comes, slowly but surely, because I'm talking quietly, he can't hear me. But anyway, that's what's going on. And again, for the 3 people who are interested in these sort of things, I hope you find this interesting. But that is the state of the feeders. I'm actually very happy with things, because what I like to see most is you know, nuthatches and chickadees zooming down, grabbing something, zooming away. That's an enjoyable little diversion from my work day. Whereas when I had 30 house sparrows and house finches just, you know, being assholes, ugh, I hated it. I looked out the window and was like, it was stressing me out, because I could see them, like, I don't know, just like bullying other birds and being territorial dickheads. And so now they're not here, and I'm happy. Take care. Bye.